Welcome to the Bee Paradise Part 1. And you might well be asking yourself what we're doing gardening on an outdoors channel. Because I suppose most of us want to get out in the outdoors. We don't really want to be spending all our time tending lovingly over a garden. But this channel is also about wildlife, and this is one of the best ways of giving wildlife a boost in literally your own backyard. So you might well be thinking, this doesn't look much like a paradise, but this is the leftovers of last year's, and it is a very messy way of gardening. You don't have to be tending it over it all the time. When it's finished at the end of the summertime, you just leave it, and it makes a good overwintering place for bugs, and it'll also self-seed. Now, if I was to just leave this, or maybe dig it over, because of that self-seeding, now I've been doing it for a few years, this would actually come up quite nicely with a whole new set of flowers, and that's what's so good about this. It's quite lazy gardening. So why do this? Well, if you plant a mixture of wildflowers or just general mixed seed, insects will just flock to this. Bees, hoverflies, ladybirds, you name it. This will be an absolute haven for all the small creatures that we need to be giving a bit of a helping hand to in these times when they're struggling out in the wilds. So just on any small patch of ground that you happen to have, you can really give wildlife a boost. As I say, this would self-seed and come up again, but I've spent about £5, and I'm just going to give it a bit of a turbo boost by throwing down some seeds in about a month's time. We're just getting into the beginning of March by the time you see this, and probably mid-April I'll throw these seeds in. As I say, I've spent about £5. I've got 2 packs of Cosmos, 2 packs of mixed annuals, and the company that I sent off to, Mr. Fothergill's in this instance, but you can use whatever seeds you can get hold of. I've sent a free pack of seeds that I'll just throw in as well. They're called Clary, which I think is wild or a flowering sage, so I'll throw those in. So all we really need to do at this stage is turn over the weeds, hoe the soil, and then just sit back and wait another month, and then throw the seeds in, and that's pretty much all there is to this. Okay, so you've done the hard bit, got yourself a cup of tea, and even the hard bit wasn't too hard, because if you've done this last year, then the ground is still nice and soft and easy to dig over. If you're working with a piece of old ground, then yeah, it's going to be a little bit harder, but nothing too strenuous. So have your cup of tea. The next bit is probably the most tedious, because you've got to go over all that ground again and get rid of the weeds. Now, you can leave it slightly, because the soil tends to be wet when you've just dug it over, and if you leave it till it's dried out, then it'll make a lot lighter work of actually getting the weeds out of it. But yeah, you've got to go and get all of that old grass and everything. Because of the what we're doing here, just throwing down seeds, it's very difficult to weed in between it as it gets more overgrown later in the year. So you do tend to get a bit of grass in there. As I say, it's not the tidiest form of gardening there is. as I say, this is probably the most tedious stage. It can take a while, and as you might be able to see, I've got a bit left to do yet, so I won't take you through the lot of it. I'll wrap it up now for part 1 and bring you back in a few weeks time and just show you how to finish prepping the beds once they've rested a bit and sowing the seeds. So thanks for joining me in this, and come back for part 2, and remember, all those bees will thank you for it. See you soon.